I thought our age life would slow down.
Not with everything we need to coordinate.
My overtime, his basketball league,
My podiatrist and her PT.
his colonoscopy.
Her allergist.
We need to be in 2 places at once, which is no problem, because the Iowa Clinic has over 40 specialties all in one place. So when our doctors want to coordinate our care, they just talk to each other.
Our doctors work together to figure out the best care for us, so we can go back to our busy lives, juggling our doctors, our careers.
Our grandchild.
Care how you want it. Visit iowaclinic.com.
Hey friends, welcome to pregame here. Iowa State at Baylor on Saturday, 2:30 kick. Game day here with Cyclone Fanatic. We are presented by friends at the Iowa Clinic. I will be with you here now. I will be with you at halftime, and I will be with you live post-game as well for all of our streaming game day coverage. Boy, a big one for the Cyclones at Baylor. I've got my game day top 5. And I want to start with running the football. I think this is just critical in this game. Now, there is some rain potentially forecast in the Waco area. We'll have to wait and see with that. But Baylor, when you break down this Baylor team, first of all, I just think it's really important to note, I think they're a lot better than they were a month ago. I think they're a lot like Iowa State, where they're trending upward at the different time of year. Still, they don't stop the run very well. And when you're going on the road, right, man, if you got that security blanket to be able to run for 4 yards per carry, that makes Rocco Beck's life so much easier. I just think that's a really important key for this football game, is that Iowa State can get out there, move the chains early on the ground. Let's go to the kicking game. So that's number 4. I think, guys, that this will be a game where you're looking at the fourth quarter, one possession. How many games has Iowa State lost like this over the years due to the kicking game? Chase Contreras has been great. He's really, really been good. Most of the misses that he's had this year have been because of bad snaps or bad hold or something like that. I've been so impressed with this young man. Boy, they really need him to come through on the road. That's a huge key for me in this game, is that he is nearly perfect, because I do think, again, like, Baylor's getting better defensively, potential bad weather. I'm thinking this could be a lower scoring game than many people probably are projecting. We'll go on to number 3. I'm curious as to what the defensive game plan is for John Haycock and Iowa State. You're going up against Blake Shapen, who I think is a top 5 quarterback in this league. He he's probably going to throw 40 sometimes per game in this one. And that's what you want, I believe, if you're Iowa State, because Baylor has struggled to run the football. Now, they've made a bunch of changes with their offensive line since the bye week. Seemed to have worked out pretty well for them at Cincinnati, but they still didn't run the football well last week. Does Haycock come out and be aggressive from the beginning, or is he going to try and drop 9 in coverage? I don't know exactly how they're going to do this, but I'm really fascinated to find out what Iowa State's defensive game plan will be going into this game. Because, 2, you're looking at a game, I think, where it's going to be a major test for the Iowa State secondary, which is great, because I still believe that's the best unit on all of Iowa State's roster. And if Shapen's back there throwing 40 times per game, I'm good putting our guys on theirs, right? Miles Purchase, TJ Tampa, Jeremiah Cooper, Bo Freeler. Have a day, guys, because you're going to get tested. And it's a massive test for y'all. I think Iowa State is up to it. And number 1 is turnovers. And this is with Baylor just as much as it is Iowa State. Blake Shapen hasn't thrown an interception all year. So that's a challenge for Iowa State. Can you turn this guy over? Can you force a turnover? You force, turnovers are big in every game, but that Baylor is a lot like Iowa State in the sense that when Blake Shapen has played well, they've won this year. A lot of those losses that they had, they didn't have him in at quarterback. Same with Rocco Beck. 0 turnover games, Iowa State hasn't lost for Rocco Beck. So it's a clear recipe, folks. When you look at this game, Iowa State is a 2.5-point favorite. You're going on the road against an ascending Big 12 team that has more talent than its record will tell you. The little things are what will dictate who wins this one in the end. I think if Iowa State and Baylor played 10 times on a neutral field, Iowa State would win 7 or 8. This is going to Waco. This is a different story. Coming off of a bye, don't know what you're going to get. I'll give Iowa State the win here, 24-21 with my final pick. But I'm not comfortable with this game. This game makes me uneasy. This game makes me uneasy. I think Baylor is better on the defensive line and the entire defensive front seven than what most people think. I think Shapen is probably an underrated quarterback, according to most people in the Big 12. And like what you're seeing with Iowa State and Jaden Higgins, they've got some young guys stepping up at wide receiver who I think are really, really talented. I will give Iowa State the win. Cyclones move to 4-1 in the Big 12, and you're setting up some monster games here the next few weeks in the month of November for Matt Campbell and the Iowa State Cyclones. Thanks to the Iowa Clinic for sponsoring us. Join me at halftime. Join me post-game. Thanks to Matt Van Winkle for production here. My name is Chris Williams. Hey, go Clones. Let's have a Saturday.